Welcome back to Bitchin Moanin. We are excited you guys are with us again. We have a fun topic today, and we're changing up our intro a little bit just to go with our topic. I wonder if you can guess by what we're wearing. All right, so let's start, Stephanie. What do you have to drink?
So since we're going a little more casual, a little more lighthearted, I usually do my standard drink when it's more relaxed, which is Malibu rum, the coconut rum, and then Dr. Pepper. So it's my favorite kind of more hard liquor drink if I'm going to have one of those. And yeah, it is to die for. It's like it tastes like a snow cone or something. It is so yummy.
Good.
Very, very good.
I love that.
So what do you have to drink today?
Well, I changed it up a little bit. I have something called Wicked Grove, and it's a hard cider. So I went with something fruity. It's mixed berry, and it's really good. It's actually sold at Aldi's.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I think we have Aldi's up north. It's pretty much around the country, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's from Aldi's, and it's got, a little fruity flavor. It's got 5% alcohol in it.
Yeah.
So it's light, and it tastes kind of like a spritzer,
Oh,
I know it's a
okay.
cider, but it kind of
It sounds like a good summer drink.
yeah, it's
Out of
pretty
the
good.
pool or
Yeah,
something.
it's pretty good. And so yeah, here's a little tidbit about Aldi. I don't know if you know this. Did you know that Trader Joe's is part of Aldi's? Like they
know
were
that.
brothers.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're like a German family, and
I knew
they
it
were
was
the brothers.
a German business, but I didn't realize that they were associated with each other.
Yeah, one
so.
did Trader Joe's to hit that market, and then Aldi's did too. It's really weird. I'm going to have to say this really quick, but I know we're going to spiral. But when I was younger, we grew up pretty poor, like really poor, and we always used to go to Aldi's because that's where it was like, it wasn't name brand stuff, but you can get a lot for your money, And again, my mom was raising 3 girls by herself, so she wanted to cut costs as much as she could. And so we went to Aldi, and back then everything was black and white labeled. It wasn't like now where you see, there's name brands and stuff like that in there. They also, I think, have their own kind of brand, but yeah, there wasn't any name brands. It was like black and white labels, and we used to get our bread and meat and whatever. But now it's very different. They're all over the place now, and they have some really good, interesting, different types of foods there and things you might not find at other stores. So
Yeah, I don't remember seeing them until probably the last 10 years here.
Yeah.
So one of my sisters had told me about it and said, you got to check it out. They have really good food there. Yeah. And it just all of a sudden it popped up and I went, I've never seen this grocery store before, but yeah, they have some good stuff there.
They do have some good stuff. Okay, so let me cheers to our
cheers.
Our fun episode.
Yes.
I think I'm going to put mine down so we can so I can look at my cards.
Okay.
So, what is our topic today?
I think we're talking football.
Football. Are y'all ready for some football? We are. I know some of you are probably going, oh gosh, it's football season. Those of you that are not football fans, we are, as you could tell. Yeah. We are big fans of football. We're going to talk about that, and we're actually going to bitch about a few things.
Yeah.
So, do you want to start the bitching?
Yeah, I'll start the bitching.
Okay.
So, everybody has probably seen the Netflix series that just came out about the Cowboys, the gambler and his Cowboys. That's got Jerry Jones.
If you haven't, go watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. I haven't made it all the way through, but my bitching has to do with when Jerry Jones came and bought the Cowboys. And anybody that's lived in Texas for a long time, I was born here, so it was basically you come out the womb and you are a Cowboys fan.
Right.
So when he came in to buy the Cowboys, and what happened with Tom Landry was just so cold.
So for those of you who don't, why don't you tell us what happened, how it all worked out?
Okay, so...
And then you haven't seen the Netflix show. It is a really good show. There's, I think, 8 episodes, so take a look at that if you guys have some
so let me
time.
back up a little bit. So Tom Landry was the coach of the Cowboys basically since the inception of the team, right?
Okay.
He was there like 26 years, won a couple Super Bowls in the 70s, and very well respected, just a very classy guy. People wanted to play their best for him just because he had a high expectation, and so everybody
loved
the
hat, right?
Yes, with the hat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody loved Tom Landry, and so we all loved him as fans, right? He was the Cowboys. So fast forward, through the 70s, and then you get to I think it was 1988 or 89 is when Jerry Jones came in, and he wanted to buy the team. So he was able to buy the team, and then what happened with that, just like with most places, wherever it's work or anything like that, there's a changing of the guard, right? So he fired a bunch of people that were on that staff, and one of them was Tom Landry, the coach. And when that happened, it was like that fast. There was a little bit of lead into it, but it was just one of those where everybody hated Jerry Jones for that, because Tom, you don't do that to Tom. So we took it personal. And so my bitching is how all that was handled. He took him to two Super Bowls. You could at least, had a little bit more of, I don't know, an appreciation for what he did. And it was awful. So we always, every Sunday, watched football at the house after church. And my dad, after Jerry fired Tom, that was it.
Oh, he was done watching?
Yeah, he was done watching. He was no longer going to watch the Cowboys because of how Jerry handled that. And it did leave a bad taste in our mouth for a long time, because they had a parade and everything for him, but in the show they talk about it felt like a funeral.
I did watch. I watched all the episodes, and I did learn a lot because I was raised up north, so in Chicago. But I did learn, how he bought the team and how, he sounded like a slimy car salesman.
I'll say he was a dick. He was a dick through all of that.
No, and he continues to be that way. I'm a Dallas fan as long as they don't play Chicago. Right? Any team, right? Except Chicago. But I did learn, how he came to buy the team and how he seemed like he was in debt with some people.
Oh, yes.
And that's how he had to get out of debt,
Right.
I don't know if you saw the episode yet, but there's a part in there where he is going to meet Jimmy Hoffa.
I did see that part.
I didn't know anything about that.
I
was
didn't
like,
either.
wow, that's pretty interesting, and look what happened to Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah.
But so he sounded like he was kind of going around with the wrong crowd, but he had a vision, and he made that vision come true multiple times.
Right.
And then the dynamic between him and Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson.
Incredible.
Yes.
To this day.
Yeah.
I think last year was probably the first time they actually came together from all of these things. But they were, I think, what I kind of think from my perspective is that they were so close, kind of like brothers, and they fought. And it was a matter of egos.
Yes, that's exactly what I picked up too.
And it gets more and more intense as you watch the episodes, and it's hardcore. It's really hardcore, and it's kind of sweet too, because they all cry in these episodes periodically. Troy Aikman, and
love Troy.
Oh gosh, and Emmett Smith, and Deion Sanders,
and
Michael Irvin,
the triplets.
Oh yeah. So I thought it was a really good watch.
I have 4 more episodes to go. So I've got, I think halfway through, it gets them through the second Super Bowl win.
Okay.
So I thought it was going to be like 3 episodes. And
I
then
thought
I'm
so
like,
too.
Next, and I'm like, I got to go to bed. I can't stay up till 3 in the morning watching this. But yeah, that whole thing with Tom just could have been handled a lot differently.
Yeah.
And he probably would have been more well received if the changing of the guard wouldn't have been so harsh. And I'd say it was just, it was a dick move in my opinion.
He did that with Jimmy Johnson too.
That's right, yeah.
Because he fired Jimmy Johnson, and the next day, Barry Switzer was right there. And so if you didn't know this, Barry Switzer, that's how you spell it?
Yes.
Switzer. He was the coach at OU.
I remember that, yeah.
And so I believe that Jimmy Johnson played for OU at some point.
It was at University of, I think, wasn't it Florida? No, Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him and Jerry were at Arkansas.
So, but yeah, so so there was they knew all of each other at some point in time back in the day, you know, and I actually met Barry Switzer.
You did? Oh my gosh, how crazy is that?
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna name drop a few people here, so because I have a history with sports, but I did meet him, and I met him when I was married to my first husband. We went to a function. It was like a Christmas party at the Marriott in near our airport here. We're close to DFW Airport, and the Cowboys always used to stay there the night before the games.
Oh, okay.
So they used to stay out at the Marriott. So you'd see fans out there and stuff. And I don't think we really knew that, but we went to this Christmas dinner or party or whatever, and they were there. And so Barry Switzer was walking around, and we have a picture with him, me and my ex-husband. Yeah,
that's a cool story.
I know.
Oh my gosh.
That's pretty neat. Again, my ex-husband was a huge Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
I came here and became one, but I'm still always a Chicago fan.
Right.
So.
Well, I, love my Cowboys. I had so many great players. I mean, going back to the 70s, like I said, I was little bitty, and, we saw Roger Staubach and Too Tall Jones, Randy White, Tony Dorsett, Drew Pearson. There's so many of them. Charlie Waters, he was really cute back in the day. But there's so many. And then, through the 80s, I have, I'm wearing Jason Witten's shirt. I think he was a beast when he played. It's like I remember in 2007 when they played the Eagles and he got hit and his helmet came flying off, and then he kept running, and it's like, oh my God, yes! We were so excited, and thank God he didn't get hurt.
Right.
But yeah, there's just so many great players, through that time frame, and it's like, so I will always be a Cowboys fan. However, I am also a Chiefs fan. And some people are going to go, oh God, the Chiefs, they're everywhere, right? However,
they're good, though. They're so good.
Yeah, this is a cool story. So my oldest went to Texas Tech, and we actually, she was there at the time Mahomes played.
How cool is
so,
that?
yes.
Yeah,
so we
really
actually got to see him play.
in college,
and I think he's a couple years older than my oldest. And so, yeah, so I feel like I have to be a Chiefs fan just because of that connection. She never met him. School's huge. But it's like, that's our boy. He's playing, So I have a Chiefs jersey I wear. Kind of hard, like you say, if they ever play each other, it's kind of,
Who do you vote for?
Well, that's where I don't know. I'm
my
like,
God.
torn.
Okay, then you're not really a Cowboys fan.
I'm like, okay, Cowboy. Let me just say this: Cowboys right now. We'll just say right now.
Okay.
It's hard to be a fan.
You're
gonna call me on it.
I am gonna call you on it because I am a diehard Bears fan.
Yes.
I will go to my grave. I think I even want a little emblem on my gravesite. But I am a diehard Bears fan, good or bad. And yeah, we're pretty bad, but we are getting better.
Yes,
I have a whole story on that. But we are getting better. But I don't care what anybody says. And I get a lot of crap because the Bears don't do very well, and I'm always like, this year.
Yeah.
Just I'm sure like the Cowboys do.
Yeah.
And everybody's always like, oh, they suck.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I am a Bears fan for life, and it doesn't matter. So, even if they play Dallas, I'm rooting for the Bears.
Right, because that's your hometown.
Yeah, but
so,
that's your hometown.
I know. It's just one of those where I'm like, I'm torn because I don't know. I think I like the players. It's like I start rooting for a player more than a team because it's like with the Chiefs. Of course, Mahomes is there. But Kelsey plays, right? Mm-hmm. And my favorite position of any of the players is a tight end. I like a tight end. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I like that position because they look kind of lanky, some of them, and it looks like they have to work really hard. Yeah. I think of like Jay Novacek with the Cowboys. Yeah. He was a tall, kind of awkward dude, and he would do his running, and he was great. Yeah. So I like players a lot of the time. So I'm kind of rooting that way as well, in addition to the team. But I do find myself when it comes to the Super Bowl, whoever's where I don't know either team or I don't really care, I always root for the underdog,
right?
Because I want it to be a good game, and I'm like, well, how cool would that be if that kind of went, 0-15-16 the year before, and then they come back and win the Super Bowl. I mean, it's like, why wouldn't you root for a team like that? So I am a Cowboys fan, but it's hard. They're making it hard for me.
Bears make it very hard for me too.
I do a lot of yelling, "You're fired!" through the TV, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. They can't hear me. Like my opinion even counts. But yeah, I'm like, you're fired, but that's okay. Play next week.
Fire
Jerry.
Yeah. So I do have a couple of bitching from things I've kind of researched. Some of you might bitch about this if you are not a football fan during football season. And so some people might complain that their spouse, their significant other, their bestie or whoever is spending way too much time in front of that TV and yelling at the TV, right? Like I mentioned before, I have a son who is an athlete. He played baseball in school, he played football in school, and that is his love language. I have to know whatever I possibly can about sports to communicate with my son. And I love it because it does kind of keep me up on track with what's going on, and I have to know college stuff. I have to know soccer. I have to know pee-wee football. I have to know so much stuff, and I try my hardest. I when we were in the midst of it all, I was better, but now it's a little bit harder to keep track of everything. But I watch it with him and stuff, but he's one that yells at the TV, and he has to be right there watching everything, and I like watching shows with him. The other thing they said was ignoring chores and responsibilities. So a lot of times, if you're with your partner or, your roommate or whatever, and they're just watching football all weekend because you got college and you got NFL, then you don't do your chores, you're not, cleaning the house. In fact, you're probably making more of a mess.
Yeah. All the food.
That was another thing people bitched about is the diet on football days or football season, because people eat the chicken wings and the chips and the crackers and queso dip. My husband now loves queso dip. So he'll sit there with a bowl of queso and I know it's good though. Some of the other things people bitched about were suddenly there's a closet full of jerseys. Full of jerseys or whatever, or shirts or whatever. So that brings me to my bitching. I have one little bitch. I have a couple of them, but this little bitch is when you go to church and you see people wearing football jerseys.
Yeah.
It is a big pet peeve of mine. I don't know why. I think because I was raised so strict as, you have to look really nice at church. And okay, I know God doesn't care. And you're all sitting there going, God doesn't care. And I don't go to church. And that's great for you. I'm just saying. I walk into church and I see people in all their glory football jerseys. And, here it's not always Cowboys. It's others because we have kind of a melting pot here in Texas. But I just hate it. And then add shorts on top of it. And I brought that up once in our church group, and they're like, I don't see any problem with that. I wear it every. I'm like, okay, God loves you anyways. I'm like, I know He does, but I can still have pet peeves. That is a big thing for me. I would never let my kid wear one. I always try to have them look nice, and then I wouldn't even let them wear jeans to church. But I kind of loosened up as they got older, and now as long as they're decent, no jerseys.
Right.
Not
Well,
with
that was
me.
my experience growing up, because my dad led the singing, so we were always at church, the choir, everything. We were always there, and it was, you want to look your best, but it's whatever your best is, right?
Right.
So, but I had to wear a dress every time I went to church, whether it was Sunday morning, Sunday night, or Wednesday night. I was always in a dress. So when I got older and you start having Saturday night church, and everybody's a little more casual, it was very weird for me. I'm looking around like, again, why are you wearing shorts and flip-flops to church? It's a little too casual, but I can understand that whole, okay, you wear your best, but I would think they would have something a little better than a jersey, but I can relate to that too. It's just very strange.
Wear something, just wear a shirt and then go home and put your jersey on. That's what I do. Like I come home and I change into my football gear. Like I literally, here's my next bitching is like, don't badmouth the Bears anymore, everybody. We're doing it this year. Have you watched the preseason? According to my son, preseasons don't matter. I'm sure everybody's saying that. Preseason, they matter to me. I don't care. I will count every point on every friggin' game. But yeah, I'm tired of people just bitching about the Bears, saying that they're so bad,
I mean, I honestly think we have a really good team this
They
year.
looked really good in the last
Yeah.
game they played.
They did.
So-
They won. I mean, okay, so it's a preseason, I get it, but still, I think they want to set a precedent,
Yeah.
you know, and they play tomorrow. They play your
The
boy
Chiefs,
tomorrow.
I'll be wearing my Chiefs
Oh
jersey
gosh.
for tomorrow.
So
yes.
and they're pulling out their starters. They had their starters the last game, and here's a little stat for you: is I saw that it was 51 million people watched the preseason game
Wow.
with the Bears, and that was the most watched preseason game since 2020.
Dang.
I don't know a lot of stats, but I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that is awesome. So I hope that continues. It was, you know, I don't know if there was any other games on, and it was on Fox or whatever, but I hope that continues, that momentum
Mhm.
continues into the season. Like, we have a really tough schedule. I think we play Minnesota and then the Lions, which the Lions are really good in our
Yeah.
division, and then we play the Cowboys
I know, my
in
gosh.
Chicago.
Yes. Oh,
So
wow.
that when that happens, oh my gosh, my house turns into crazy land, USA. My house is insane. Like we always bet, you know, to each other
Yes.
like a car wash, or you have to buy, you know, the chicken wings or whatever. But I usually get deep dish pizza, so we can have a little bit of
yeah.
Chicago in there, and then we might have some wings or whatever. And it's just a downright craziness. And my son gets so wild, and I get
Yeah.
wild, and we're just like in each other's face, and you know, just bitching at each other. And but it's fun. It's you know, it's just fun. And so I really think we have a team this year. So don't be bitching about my Bears.
Yeah, you talking preseason. That's the thing where I want to bitch about too. Is like the very first preseason game. Whoever wins, it's like we're going to the Super Bowl, baby. I can feel it. And I'm like, it's the first game. We got a long season, but it's just. But I love it at the same time because I'm like, well, kudos to you for being that much of a diehard fan. I'm like, I just want him to do well.
Yeah.
So-
we have a new coach, and then our quarterback, Caleb Williams. He, I think this is his second year, and he's doing really well. I think the enthusiasm of the new coach and how he's just really get in there type of thing. And then their backup quarterback is even really good, and they just signed him to like a 2-year extension because he's doing so well. Our kicker's really good. So I'm just hoping, you know, we just need, you know, to get some defense in there, and we'll be all right.
Yeah,
you know?
I think there's always a little bit of drama when it comes in the preseason too, because it's like with the Cowboys, all that with Micah Parsons and trying to
Has
get
he been
him
signed
signed.
yet?
I don't know. I
don't
haven't
think he's been
heard that he
signed.
has, but going back to that Netflix thing, it talks about Emmett and how
Yeah,
he held out.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like when you're that good of a player, you pay them the money. I mean,
Yeah.
it's.
I guess it depends, because here's my bitch about the Cowboys is there's a few of them that I wasn't really excited about. I can't stand Tony Romo. I'm sorry, I can't stand him. And also when Zeke,
Oh,
remember
yeah.
when he held out and he was in like friggin' Cabo at the and I'm like,
That
come
one was
and
frustrating.
Then he did that. Did he do like twice or something? I don't know, but he did that, and then they pay him all this money, and then he sucks.
Yes.
So it's like, what was the purpose of all that?
As a fan, that was frustrating
Yeah,
because I think we
definitely.
could all see that he wasn't who he used to be, and then he got like the most money on the team, and then it was like,
and now he's not even with the team.
yeah,
either.
and it was just
What a waste. That was just a
ridiculous,
waste. And I think as a teammate, I would be pissed. I would be pissed that you're, you know, not here and not with us. Now, I understand Emmitt Smith, and he, you know, he is valued, and he is the okay, I can't say he's the greatest running back because I know he is with stats. However, my sweetness, which I will talk about, is for me the greatest running back. And he, I think, deserved the money. I think he deserved it, and he made good on it, and he retired as a Cowboy. I think he went to another team first for a couple of years or whatever, but then he came back to the Cowboys because he wanted to retire as a Cowboy. So, so speaking about my sweetness, so I have a little story for you. I think I might have told you this back in the day, but so I was in Chicago. I lived there most of my life, came here, and then I actually moved back for a short period of time in my early 20s. And I've always been in insurance, and my goal in life was, I want to work for Prudential. They're like the big company and blah, blah, blah. So I ended up working for them. but I didn't make a whole lot of money. And here I am. It's very expensive to live in Chicago. I'm like, oh my God, I have to get a second job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Walter Payton, greatest running back ever, in my opinion. Just like Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player ever.
Yeah.
So Walter Payton actually had been retired, and he went into business with some bars and restaurants in the suburbs and the city of Chicago. And one of them was right by my house. And so I went and worked there part-time as a waitress. And I worked during the day at Prudential. And I literally would make more in like 2 days at the bar than I would make like 2 weeks at Prudential, you know, but I wasn't going to go into that industry. However, it was really cool. It was called 34s, which is his number. And some people say it didn't have anything to do with that, but it did. He was always there. I got to meet him, and also all the football players of that time and of past would come. A lot of sports players come. So, for instance, Jim Harbaugh was the quarterback for the Bears at the time. I know a lot of secrets about some of these players, too, which we won't divulge here. But Jim Harbaugh was there, and Mike Singletary, he was also there. And they actually went on to be coaches. And I think Jim Harbaugh's still a coach right now. And then some of the older players that would come in would be like Richard Dent, the Fridge. Do you remember him?
Yes, I remember the Fridge. Yeah.
And then what was his other? Oh, Dan Hampton. He was number 99. He was, I don't remember what position, but he was a big guy. And I think he was the cutest one out of all of them. And then Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan. The sportscaster from our local news would be down there. So we got to meet all of these people.
So cool.
And we had to, just because we worked, we had to kind of just be like working, you know. But sometimes it would be a little bit quiet or whatever. And anytime Walter Payton came in, he was just literally the sweetest person ever. Just very personable, talking to everybody. He would sign a bunch of, like I wish I would have known I would have had a kid in sports, because I would have had all this stuff signed, but I didn't, and that's my bad. But yeah, it was really cool to meet all these people. They would have charity events. I remember one year, Paul Mitchell. He was, you know, the hair.
Oh, the hair
Mitchell?
guy, yeah.
Yeah, he had a big event there, and Bobby Hall. Again, he's a little bit older. He played for the Blackhawks. Well, his son, Brett Hall, played for the Stars.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So I got to meet Bobby Hall and Paul Mitchell. You know, again, they had this whole modeling thing in there. So, okay, so I name dropped enough. I thought that was a really cool time in my life. I was 22, 23. I was living life to its fullest. And just, it was so much fun to meet all those people. And they were just ordinary people. Nobody was ever crazy mean or whatever. They did some pretty crazy stuff that we saw, and that was wild.
Really cool.
Because again, they're just normal people, you know. But I don't know if they ever got caught for some of the things they did, but it was interesting. So so that's kind of my little story about the Bears. I would love to go to the Bears Cowboys game, but it's in Chicago. And last year we went because we were at your wedding. Yes. We went to your wedding, and then we're like, we're here, you know. So we went to the Bears game last year, and we lost.
Oh,
but it was still good. It was still a lot of fun.
You were at the game. That's all that mattered, right?
We had a lot of fun, my husband and I. So
yeah, that's so cool.
So no more bitching about the Bears. So what else do you have?
So you were mentioning stats and things like that. So when my husband and I are watching, you know, whatever football's on, he's a Bears fan and agrees with you with Walter Payton, the greatest running back ever, because he lived in Illinois growing up, so it's huge up there, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny. I don't care about stats. I like college football. I just enjoy the game, right? So it doesn't matter who's playing or what. I just love to watch it. But he's like, yeah, that guy, he's got blah, 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 whatever it is. And I'm like, you know, I don't even know anything about the stats, you know. But he's like, oh, yeah, I keep forgetting, you know. Or even in the pros when, you know, somebody comes up and they get drafted. And it's like, yeah, they came from the University of wherever. And I'm like, I don't care, you know.
But it's like if we would go off to them and say, hey, you know, how about those shoes at
Yeah.
Marcus, and you're gonna be like, I don't care. I don't care about
It's
those
like,
shoes.
yeah,
you know?
I just want to, for college, I just want to enjoy it. My mom was a big college football fan, and she would watch it. She just loved the college. She liked pro too, but something about like New Year's Day, especially when they have all the college games on,
the
my mom
bowls.
was always
Those are
watching them,
fun.
and yeah, it was just a lot of fun, especially when they get to the championship. It's like, it's a different level of hungry when you watch them, the college guys, compete. Then, Super Bowl, they want to win it, but they just look fierce, or they're all riled up or something. It's just a different level of competition, in my opinion, watching the championships.
What do you think of Deion Sanders now in his era of
coaching and stuff, or
coaching? His boys are now in the NFL.
Yeah, I saw that. I liked Deion when he played for the Cowboys.
Mr.
I thought
Primetime.
Mr. Primetime. He was a little
Coach
flashy.
Primetime.
Some people thought he was a little annoying, but man, he could play. He was so good, and so I appreciate the talent that he brought. So. If he's that good, you could be whatever you want to be. I don't care. Some people, it annoyed them, but I like that. And then to see it kind of come full circle, well, now he's coaching, and then he has his boys, and I mean, what a proud moment as a dad to have your sons in in the NFL. So I just think it's a really cool story, and I think he's really trying to be a really good role model. Because a lot of the kids, from what I understand at the university, some of those kids, they don't have a father figure around, and so Deion steps up for that. And I think there's something to be said for that. And he is probably changing the trajectory of a lot of these kids because he engages with them on that personal level. So I like Deion. Again, my opinion, not everybody does. But I think he's a good guy.
Since my son played football, he had a lot of friends that played football too, obviously. And one of his little bestie guys, his mom put him in Deion's camp in high school. So my son actually got to go out there and meet him, while he was playing. And his friend just loved him. He was a really nice guy, yelled a lot, but coaches do. I don't know. Anybody who tells you they don't, they all yell at their kids and stuff. There's probably one funny thing about football or any kind of sport is the moms.
Yes.
The moms. Let's just say that, unfortunately, I was one of those moms that bitched about a lot of things. Now, I really try to keep it together because I didn't want to embarrass my kid.
Yeah.
Did I embarrass him once or twice? I'm sure I did, and I'm sure he will tell you that I did. But I was just so enthralled with what was happening. And when my kid gets hurt or something's not right, or they're not putting him in, and I bitched.
Yeah,
I bitched a little. I'll admit it. I bitched and I never wanted to be like that mom. I know it probably was, but I didn't want to be that mom. But there was a couple times I do remember one episode where my son, he was so good at both sports, but we were aiming for him to go to college in baseball, and he actually did. But he played elite ball, and so they would travel to different, colleges and whatnot. Well, his junior year was just like, okay, well, this is where they need to shine, right? And my son is a lefty pitcher. He was amazing, and he was playing since he was 4 years old. And we went to a college where there was going to be scouts there, actually, Oklahoma University.
Oh, wow.
And again, Oklahoma's close to us. It's probably, I don't know, an hour and a half away or so, or 2 hours away. But they were going to be there, and they told us they were going to be there. The coach decided he wasn't going to play my son, but he was going to play another kid on the team because his brother went to OU, and he wanted to go, so he wanted to give him the opportunity. I was pissed.
Yeah, that's
talk about
shady.
bitching. I was bitching. I mean, I don't understand why you couldn't share the spotlight.
Yeah.
I think they might have brought my kid in as like a closer. He was a really good closer too, but he was a good pitcher. But needless to say, this kid did end up going to OU,
oh my
and
gosh.
I want to say he plays like in the major leagues now.
Wow.
So okay, so it was the right call, but that doesn't change the fact that my kid could have done that.
Yeah.
You know, I sent him to a lot of camps, to TCU, Texas Christian University. He played there too, and that's an expensive school, but at least it would be in state, you know. But yes, I did bitch sometimes at coaches. So coaches out there, sorry, but you know, you do it for your kids,
right?
You know, you just want them to succeed, and you want them to, you know. And there was times I yelled at my kid too. Hey, don't do that. You know. And I remember one time we were playing a baseball team not far from us, probably about an hour from us, and they were country bumpkin kids, you know, great kids, great life, whatever, but they weren't. They were lacking in some manners.
Oh.
And they were playing dirty. Really dirty. They were hurting our boys, okay? And these were young kids. They were probably like, I don't know, 10, 11, I don't know. They were playing dirty. And my son got sick of it. Now, I do not condone this behavior, but my son got sick of it, and he charged one. Like,
Oh, wow.
And you can't do that. You get ejected from the game. Needless to say, it was the end of the game, so he didn't care. But yes, he got yelled at for it, because you don't do that. That's not good sportsmanlike. And but I think they tolerated it so much.
Right.
Well, because of that, the family of that kid wanted to fight all of us physically.
The parents.
The parents and the kids. They were like, "We're gonna wait for you guys out here." I mean, they literally said, "Oh, and I'm thinking, are they gonna go bash our cars, or what's the deal, you know? And the kids were, I don't think the kids were all that scared because they were so hyped up, but we're all kind of going, we are adults, are we gonna fight with bats, or what are we gonna do? And it was weird. It was a weird situation, and that was like pretty much the only time that happened. And funny enough, as time came around, my son ended up playing baseball with that kid in a different league, and they're like, "Remember that?" I'm like, yeah, they were pretty little, and you guys are crazy.
Well, there's a lot of videos out there where you see them at like high school basketball games or just everywhere, and it's like the parents are just fighting, and I'm like, it is not that big of a deal, right?
Well, my son coaches now, so he coaches little kids, and he sees, you know, some of the parents yelling, and when I go watch him coach, because I'm such a proud mom, when I go watch him coach, I can hear some of the parents and some of the coaches. I'm like, God, come on, don't. They're trying. They're little bitty, and they're trying, you know.
Right.
But I do remember the passion we used to have, you know, and I get it, but
yeah, my yelling and bitching is always at the TV if I'm going to watch something, because I didn't. My girls did cheer and as they were growing up, so it wasn't like I was going to yell at the cheer coach.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You know, that's just ridiculous. Whatever. But this is a really cool moment. So my oldest, she liked doing athletic things, and so she did like the powder puff junior senior games. In her junior year, you know, they're kind of rigged for the seniors to win. You know, it's kind of rigged anyway because, you know, they're seniors, right? Well, anyway, she was on defense, and the seniors threw the ball or gave the ball to a girl, and she went to like state and track.
Oh, okay.
So this girl is coming over to the side, and I got my drink over here. She's coming to this side, and she's going to run down the sideline. Well, my daughter was on the other side, and she's running diagonal, so kind of going like this to meet it. Yeah, and so it just so happened when she grabbed her flag, she tackled the girl. Oops. And I'm recording. Not supposed to be doing that. And I should have had a boy. And so I'm recording, and you hear me jump up going, yeah, that's my girl. And then this mom is like, well, that wasn't right. And I'm like, well, have you seen the seniors play and what they're doing? And so I kind of got in that moment. But yeah, she had a big old goosey thing on her leg, and then she had to go to a band banquet with this, you know, netting on this skirt. And she had, it was bad. But yeah, that was my one brush with, And so she had tackled that girl. No, but hey, she was an all-state track star, and I'm like, oh, good for my girl, you know. So
absolutely, that's pretty funny.
I should have had a boy. I would have made a good football mom.
Boys are interesting. My girls didn't play sports, but my son did. I mean, I think he played softball a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I watched him play a few times. Yeah, he's so good.
I think it's good. But anyways, so that's been our bitchin' for this week. We we hope you enjoyed our little football season bitch. Don't forget, the Bears are on tomorrow, and they're going to kick some Mahone's butt. Mahone probably won't even be in.
Yeah, exactly. It's still
but they are
preseason.
putting our starters in. They did last week for a little bit, and they look so good, and they're putting them in this week. So we'll see what happens. And
Go Chiefs.
and hopefully we have a good season, and hopefully the Cowboys have a good season too. I'm rooting for them.
Yeah, new coach. We'll see. Time will tell. You know, that kind of thing. So
can you imagine if the Cowboys and the Bears, can they go in the same? Are they in the same?
They're in different. I think they're in different divisions.
Well,
it's
that's
sad
good,
that
right?
Because they can
go,
play.
right?
Yeah. So
I did go to a Super Bowl once. I did. I went. It was. My second husband was a Green Bay Packers fan. So
oh man,
I can bitch about that every year because they think but they don't. We got to prove that this year.
Yeah.
But yeah. So it was again a rivalry every time they played together, and so 2012, I guess it was, they played for a seat to go to the Super Bowl. It was either the Bears or the Green Bay Packers, and of course we made a little stupid bet, that I'd have to wear a Green Bay Packers jersey, or he would have to wear a Bears jersey, and I was like, I'm going to be disowned from my friends, but Green Bay actually won, so they got to go to the Super Bowl here in Texas.
Yeah.
So we got to go. I had to wear that stupid green, ugly ass jersey. However, I put a little touch on it because I love the Black Eyed Peas, and they were playing at the Super Bowl. So I put Fergie's name over Aaron Rodgers on my back. So I had Fergie because I had to. I was just like, there's no way I'm wearing this Aaron Rodgers jersey. And so I put that on. But we had a really great time. It was the first kind of big thing they had here. It was a little bit of chaos, but I think they played Pittsburgh and Green Bay actually won. So it was a fun time. But I love
too cool.
But so wrap it up and we're good. We hope you have a great time watching football, and watch our next episode.
Yes.
Yeah, we have some good things brewing.
Yes, so
And
excited.
we
We
are so
wish we
excited.
could tell you, but we can't. So you'll have to keep coming back. Maybe we'll drop little, what do they call it? Not eggshells. What is it called?
Breadcrumbs?
Breadcrumbs.
Breadcrumbs? Easter eggs.
Yeah, Easter.
Like Tay-Tay. Easter eggs.
breadcrumbs, Easter eggs, whatever. Hints.
Yes.
Yeah, but we're really excited about it. So we can't wait to share that with you later. But anyway,
have a good week, and we'll
Alrighty.
see you next time.
Alrighty, bye
Bye.
y'all.